today we're going to be working on the touch cue. Touch can be helpful for a couple of different things. It can help to reorient your dog. It can help to give them a little bit of a brain break because it's a nice easy trick. We can even make little games out of it. And a lot of people are using this or related tricks for consensual veterinary work, for teaching tricks such as closing doors or turning on lights, or any manner of other tricks. It's a really versatile beginning trick. I tend to teach touch as a nose touch, but you could also teach it as a paw touch. And with nose touch, it's really easy to start off with. So I will offer the puppy my hand. Yes. And I mark and I reward her from the hand that she touched. It's really easy to teach because most puppies are used to receiving things from us. So they naturally come up to investigate the hand. So I offer my hand again. Yes. And again, I reward her from my hand. So I have my other hand just deliver a treat. Yes. With this one, you can add the name of the trick pretty quickly because the dog's going to do it pretty automatically. So if I'm adding the name, I go touch, and then I offer my hand. Yes. And I reward her. You can see I'm still adding my marker, so I say yes before I feed her. Yes. Good girl. And I'm just looking for a quick little touch right now. Touch. Yes. There, my timing was a little bit off. So filming yourself is actually really helpful for training. Touch. Because then you'll be able to notice yourself. Yes. You'll be able to notice yourself a little bit more and your own patterns. We very naturally tend to move while we speak, so filming yourself will be really helpful. There, she didn't show a whole heck of a lot of interest, so instead of repeating my cue, I made her a little bit more interested. I can move my fingers, I can make another noise, but ideally, touch. Yes. I don't want to add that cue a second time. I want it to be really clear. If I say it once, I want you to listen. It just makes it so much easier for our dog. Touch. Yes. A lot of times we get into the habit of going sit, 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 sit. So the cue becomes repeating multiple times, or a change in our tone, a change in our body language. Instead, if we go touch, and then we move, yes. We make it really clear to her what we're asking and why. So we're going to give this little lady a bit of a break, and we'll add another one of our dogs who's a little bit further along in the behavior so I can show you some other things that you can do with it. With Lucy, we've started working on a sustained hand touch with me moving around. So in order to do that, I would say touch. And her touch is more of a chin touch, which is fine. You could do a chin or a nose touch, and then I would walk away. Yes, good girl. At first, I would just take a tiny little step, and I would reward her for coming with me. Yes. Before that, you often want to reward duration. So instead of it being a quick boop of the nose, yes. You reward for your dog touching their nose to your hand and sustaining that. Thank you. Oftentimes, if you offer your dog the touch and they don't get the reward right away, they'll come back in and they'll hit a little bit harder for a little bit longer. That's when you can mark and reward them because they know what they're supposed to be doing, but they're curious why they haven't been rewarded. So you can take advantage of that learning curve and teach them to hold it for longer and longer. Thank you, Lucy. Now for veterinary care work, we want to work with a sustained hand touch and then start adding distractions such as my hand going above their head, maybe me touching their ears or their feet. And essentially what happens is I offer my hand, the dog puts their chin in it, and if they pull their hand away or their head away because they are upset or distracted by what's going on, no punishment at all. But instead I remove the possibility for reward that round. Sometimes I'll do a no reward marker such as and then when they offer their head in my hand again, we will restart the exercise. So I'll give an example with Mally, who's just started working on this. Mally, chin. Good girl. I add my distraction. Yes. I'm still rewarding in my hand for this exercise. Good girl, chin. Good. So I can add my distractions. She lifted her head out of the chin. There we go. Good. Do a little bit of a collar touch or even a foot grab. head back in, up. So I remove my distraction. Good. Yes. Good girl. Until she puts her head back in my hand. So I'm having her go, no, that was okay. And then I can reward her for doing this. It's also teaching her that it's not that big of a deal. Mally doesn't mind me touching her feet anyways, but it can be helpful for dogs who are a little bit sensitive with that work, if you want to work with handling them a different way. Or it could just be a fun exercise to work with your dog. We want to keep the stress nice and low so that your dog's able to achieve it. Not going to be doing anything crazy when we're starting off all of these things brand new. So let's practice that.